Welcome to Gun the Gear Network, everyone. Appreciate you tuning in. I want to do this little video today about a really budget-friendly bag I found on eBay. And it can be used for your medical kit, potentially. It can be used for your EDC bag. It could possibly be used as a get-home bag. It's a little small for a bug-out bag, but it might be a good bug-out bag for, say, a kid that doesn't, you're not going to put a lot in their bag, just some basic essentials for them that would work. When I say budget-friendly, this bag was $16.99 including shipping to my door. And you find it on eBay, and I probably, just to guess, you probably find it on some Amazon sellers too. It's a 30-liter bag, and I don't have no true way to measure that to make sure it is exactly 30 liters. So I'm just going to take their word for it that it's a 30-liter bag. And I've recently switched over all my medical kit over to this bag, and there's some pros and cons to the bag I was using and this one, and I think I'm going to stick with this bag for now. I'll kind of go over some of that with you, but like I said, it's very budget friendly, and I think if somebody's don't want to spend a lot of money on a bag to be able to store some gear in, something like this would work for you. Now, I've not done thorough field testing with this, but keep in mind, that an EDC bag, you're going to carry it maybe a little more often. I have an EDC bag, but it sits in my SUV, and I don't really carry it, if you will, back and forth or anything like that. A get-home bag, that's exactly what it is. It's a get-home bag. As long as, the stitching and stuff's halfway decent, it's not something I'm going to use long-term over and over again. So is it military grade? Military grade is something, you hear that term thrown around a lot with things. And military grade is something that is used all the time, usually a lot of times on a daily basis or weeks and months on end, and they're held to a different standard than something like this that you're just going to use briefly and short periods of time in the civilian community. Now, would I recommend this to a firefighter or an EMT or somebody or policeman that's going to be using it all the time, every day? Probably not. Then you're going to spend a little more money. But if somebody's just wanting a nice little bag that's economical and things like that, this right here should fit the bill, and it's got some good benefits to it, and I'll kind of go over those. It's going to get a little shaky because I'm having to pick up the camera to do some of one of the biggest things I like about this bag is it lays flat. It has two outside pockets here, if you will, that are that you can unzip. And if you look, I've got some medical stuff stored in this one. It's not great for organization of medical. It's not truly designed to be medical. I just have mine in here because I section everything off and kind of prioritize where I got things, and then I put it in Ziploc bags so I can pull it out and find it. But if you want a true medical bag, you're going to have to spend probably a little more money that has a lot more organization with pockets and things like that. On this little pocket here, I keep the essentials. What I normally keep for this is to stop bleeding. So there's a couple tourniquets in here and things like that. So it's out here on the front. I know where it's at. Then it has another section here. And no, these are not YKK zippers to my knowledge. If you look, it's got full of medical stuff. And I've got this thing crammed full of things. So you have this section here. And then if you look from this side, it's kind of stair-stepped out. But the one thing I liked about this bag that attracted me to it, besides the price that I noticed, and I'll show you a comparison to my other bag that you've probably seen in one of my videos. The one thing I liked about this one is this feature here, in the fact that it unzips all the way on this back section, and I'm able to open it completely up like that and lay it out flat. So what I do with my medical kit, and even when I had it in this bag that you're probably familiar with, you may have seen that one. This is a bag I picked up at Walmart a couple of years ago by Field Line Tactical when they sold them through them. This one did not have this ability to open up like this. And so I have this little bag here that I'm able to organize some things. And then it's got a few pockets. It's got one here. Like if you see, I've got just this laid in there. But like here, I've got some skin staplers. Then here, this kit here is not a first aid kit, it's marked that way. I actually have liquids in this. I want to protect those, so I have like alcohol, peroxide, things like that, betadine solution. I have that in this hard thing so it doesn't get crushed or anything like that, and it actually fits really nice in the bottom. Then I can put this in here like that, put that up top. Then it has this little section up here, little mesh that I can put a couple things. I have a little field surgical kit there. I have some ace bandages down here at the bottom, but I like being able to flip that all the way open and then get to this main pouch. And this one here, this bag here, has a lot of my little essentials, first aid type stuff, and it's again sectioned off a little bit. I've got them all in bags. So this method is not the best, I'll be honest with you, as far as organization, but if you know where your stuff's at and what's in what section and all that, it's not too bad to do it this way if you're limited and not have a dedicated medical turnout kit with all the dedicated pockets. But that was one of the big things I saw that I liked about this one. I can fold, I can open it and get to stuff without this one right here won't do that, essentially, because it won't unzip all the way on one side. So it's really hard to unzip it like that and fold it out flat. It only folds to one side. This one here's got a lot more organization pockets to it, but and it was okay. It did really well. I kept my medical and stuff in there for a long time. But I'm trying it in this. Like I said, I just bought it. I saw it. This was a good bargain. I wanted to review it for you guys. For you guys that was looking for a little cheaper alternative to bags that I thought maybe would work and work for you. So I wanted to buy it and I review it. I was not sent this bag by the seller for free or anything. I actually paid for this bag myself, and I'll show you a few other features here in a second once I get it all zipped up. Like I said, I have this thing stuffed to the max, pretty full. I might could get a few more flat type items in here, but for the most part, it is really full of gear. All right. The zippers seem okay. They're pretty heavy duty. You've got a little bit of, hang on one second, guys, get this camera straightened up. You got a little bit of molly on the outside. If you notice, I've got some shears, EMT shears. I just got this little LED light. I've got a pocket knife folder. It's got some on the outside here. It's got some molly in the front, so I could add some pouches there. It's got a little bit up here. It's got a little Velcro strip. Now, the way this thing is supposed to, so you can kind of cinch it all down, it has this feature here where I can come in here and do that. And because of that, I had to put this little first aid EMT type medical patch off to the side, because if I did it in the middle, you couldn't see it. It would cover some of it up. It's got really nice grab handle up here that's double stitched and box stitched and things like that. It's got adjustable shoulder straps here. It's got a little foam padding back here that's ventilated. It also has a section back here that you can get into. It's a little tight when mine being full, but you do have a section back there too. And then you've got some D-rings throughout the thing. I've got this little carabiner hanging here, and it also has a little waist belt. That's one thing that this pouch here, this pack here did not have, was a waist belt. This right here is not a padded waist belt or anything. It's just pretty standard nylon webbing, but it at least does have one. So if you're looking for a cheap, economical little bag that is not going to see a lot of hard use, I think something like this would work for you. And I will post in the section below the vendor I bought from, and then you can research it yourself also and see if you can find it a little cheaper maybe, or something like that. They come in multiple colors. I chose black just because it's easy to keep clean, doesn't show dirt or anything when you're just dragging it around in your car, stuff like that. And plus, another reason I like the black in the back of my SUV is it kind of blends in because my floor is black and everything, so it doesn't stand out where people walking by would see something in there. You know, the lighter tan that I was carrying had it showed up really well in the back of a SUV. So this right here kind of camouflages it in a vehicle a little bit, so keep you know, the eyes away from it just a little bit. Doesn't, not perfect, but it has they have a bunch of different camouflage patterns, some solid colors, I think black, OD green, maybe even a tan, and then quite a few of the camouflage colors available. But anyway, guys, I appreciate you tuning in. As always, like, share, and subscribe. If you like our videos, give us that thumbs up. Should be in that section right in there. That's always helpful and it's very appreciative, and we'll be bringing you another video shortly. Have a great day, guys.